It's one of those questions that every single product team struggles with. It's this constant balancing act, and there's never an easy answer. How often should you actually be publishing updates? I mean, this is the dilemma, right? Because on one hand, you push out too many updates, you send too many notifications, and you risk your users just completely tuning you out. But on the other hand, if you go dark for too long, they start to wonder, hey, is this product even being worked on anymore? So where's that sweet spot? How do you find that perfect middle ground?
Well, to find the answer, we've got to start by tackling a really common myth. Let's call it the frequency illusion. It's this belief that just shipping more updates automatically means you're doing a better job communicating. And as we're about to see, that's almost never the case.
So many teams fall into this trap, right? They chase update frequency like it's some kind of scoreboard. But volume without real value doesn't improve communication. It just creates noise. All your important messages get drowned out. And pretty soon, your users learn that, you know what? It's just not worth their time to pay attention anymore. Here's a good way to think about it. User attention is a finite resource. It's like a battery. And every single notification, every changelog, every in-app pop-up, it draws a little bit of power from that battery. Now, if you drain it with constant low-impact updates, what happens when you have something truly important to say? Well, there's no power left. They've already learned to ignore you. Okay, so if just doing more isn't the answer, what is? Well, it takes a pretty big shift in how you think about this. We need to stop focusing on our publishing calendars and start focusing on building user confidence. This is all about establishing trust. This right here, this is the whole game. This is the key. Stop thinking of your update schedule as a box you need to check off. Instead, see every single update as a signal you are sending to your users that either builds up their trust in you or breaks it down. Think about it like this. You're constantly training your users. Every update, whether it's a huge new feature or a tiny little bug fix, it teaches them something. It teaches them what to expect from you, how much you respect their time, and maybe most importantly, whether your product is a living, breathing thing that's always getting better. And this brings us to an absolutely crucial point. There is no magic number. There's no universal right schedule. The perfect frequency isn't weekly, it's not monthly, it's completely 100% dependent on context. I mean, just look at the different kinds of updates. You've got big product and feature updates. Those are driven by your development cycles, so users kind of expect them to be less frequent, but way more impactful. Then you have content, like blog posts, which can follow a nice steady rhythm. And then you have operational updates, like a critical bug fix. Those are driven by pure necessity. Delaying one of those just to stick to a schedule would be a terrible idea. And you know what else matters? A lot? The platform. On a website, updates are pretty passive. A user finds them when they visit your site, so the tolerance for more frequent updates is higher. But in an app, oh man, updates are intrusive. They pop up as notifications. They demand attention right now. The tolerance there is so much lower. A pace that feels totally fine on your website could get your app uninstalled in a heartbeat. Okay, so how do you actually know if you've got this balance wrong? Well, your users will tell you, often without saying a single word. You just have to know what warning signs to look for. So let's look at the red flags. Are you updating too often? You'll see engagement on your announcements start to drop. You'll see people disabling notifications. My favorite is when your support team gets flooded with questions about something you just announced, a sure sign that nobody is reading your updates. And on the flip side, if you're too quiet, users will just assume the product's dead, or they'll keep reporting bugs you've actually already fixed. All right, enough talk about the problems. Let's get to the solution. Here is a super simple, really practical framework you can use to decide for any given update whether it's actually time to hit that publish button. It really just comes down to asking these three questions. Number one, what's the user impact? Does this really change how they use the product in a meaningful way? Number two, what's the urgency? Is this information going to be less valuable tomorrow than it is today? And number three, what's the attention cost? Are we talking about a quiet little update to a changelog or a loud push notification to everyone's phone? And the logic here is really straightforward. If an update scores high on impact, high on urgency, and the attention cost makes sense, then publish it now. But if it doesn't meet that bar, just wait. Bundle it with a few other small changes and release one single more meaningful update later on. And that really brings us full circle, doesn't it? The best update cadence is one that your users barely even notice. Things just feel like they're getting better, they feel informed when it truly matters, and they aren't interrupted when it doesn't. It all comes back to this one idea. Let value and context be your guide, not the days of the week. Because at the end of the day, what's more important, hitting a self-imposed deadline or actually building trust with your users?